Listen to me. Life doesn't owe you anything. The world is not going to hand you success on a silver platter. Every single person you see living the life you dream of, they got there by refusing to quit. They got there by being relentless. And that's exactly what I want you to understand today. You have to be relentless until you win life. Winning isn't about talent. Winning isn't about luck. Winning is about luck. Winning is about persistence. It's about refusing to stop when the odds are against you. It's about grinding when no one is watching. You see, life will test you. Life will push you. But the question is, will you push back harder? Will you refuse to accept mediocrity? When I say be relentless, I don't mean showing up sometimes. I mean every single day, every single hour, every single minute, you are taking steps to get you closer to your goals. You might fall. You will fall. But the moment you decide to get up, that's the moment you stop winning. I want you to ask yourself, are you willing to fight when it's hard? Are you willing to sacrifice comfort for greatness? Are you willing to be relentless until you win life? Because if you are, nothing can stop you. So today, I challenge you, stop making excuses. Stop waiting for permission. Stop dreaming small. Start grinding. Start sacrificing. Start being relentless. And I promise you, life will respond to relentless effort. Your time is now. Your win is coming. But only if you refuse to quit and stay relentless until you win life. Listen to me, listen very carefully. So many people are walking around thinking that talent is everything, thinking that if you are naturally gifted, life will hand you success on a silver platter. But I'm here to tell you something that most people will never admit. Talent without relentlessness is nothing. Talent without grind is just potential sitting there collecting dust. Talent without discipline is like having a Ferrari and never putting it in gear. It's beautiful to look at, it's impressive to imagine, but it will never take you anywhere. You see, talent may open doors, but relentlessness keeps them open. Talent may give you a head start, but relentlessness wins the race. Let me tell you, it doesn't matter how much natural ability you have. What matters is how badly you want it, how hard you are willing to push, how far you are willing to go when everyone else says, you've done enough, rest now. Think about the people you look up to, the ones that you call successful, the ones whose names you know, whose stories inspire you. Who do you think they got there because they were the most talented? No, some of them were, sure, blessed with skills or gifts that others didn't have. But talent alone doesn't make legend. It's the relentless mindset that separates the good from the great, the average from the extraordinary. It's the people who get up at 4 a.m. when their body is telling them to sleep. It's the people who keep going, even after failure has knocked them down, even after rejection has hit them like a freight train. That is the power of a relentless mindset. Now, I want you to really listen to this because it's not just words, it's life. You can have all the talent in the world. You can be smarter than the people around you. You can have a voice that turns heads or a mind that invents things others could never imagine. But if you don't pair that talent with relentlessness, it's wasted energy. It's potential that will never see the light of day. Let me break it down for you. Talent is a gift, yes. Talent is an opportunity. But opportunity without action is like a seed that never sees the sun. The seed may have everything it needs to grow, but without water, without sunlight, without effort, it will never become a tree. And that's exactly what talent is without relentlessness. It's a seed that never grows, a dream that never happens, a promise that is never fulfilled. Look around you. Some of the most talented people in the world never make it to the top. Why? Because talent gave them the illusion of being enough. Talent made them think, I don't have to work as hard as everybody else. And guess what happened? While they are resting on their gifts, someone else is out there grinding. Someone else is out there pushing past fatigue, pushing past pain, pushing past fear, pushing past doubt, and that someone else eventually overtakes them. Talent might get you noticed for a moment, but relentlessness will make you unforgettable. Talent might get you opportunity, but relentlessness will create results. Let me give you a real example because I don't want this to just sound like motivational talk. Look at some of the legends you admire. People like Michael Jordan, people like Kobe Bryant, Serena Williams. Let me tell you something about them. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine that. The man who would go on to dominate the NBA, The man whose name is synonymous with greatness was rejected, told he wasn't good enough. And yet, he didn't sit around and cry about it. He didn't just rely on the natural talent that he had. He went home, practiced, trained, pushed himself harder than anyone else. And that relentless mindset took him from being cut to being a legend. Talent alone didn't do that. His relentless mindset did. And it's the same story with Kobe Bryant. Kobe was not the most physically gifted player when he started. He didn't have the height of Shaquille O'Neal. He didn't have the immediate recognition of other players coming into the league. But he has something more powerful, relentlessness. He was in the gym before dawn, after games on his off days. He was relentless in perfecting his craft. He was relentless in pushing his limits. And that relentlessness took him past those who may have had more natural talent and made him one of the most respected and feared competitors in basketball history. Talent can make people look impressive for a moment. Talent can make people feel confident for a moment. Talent can make people think they are destined for greatness for a moment. But a relentless mindset is what transforms that moment into a lifetime of achievement. Relentlessness is what takes ordinary talent and turns it into extraordinary results. Relentlessness is what forces you to wake up when the world is sleeping. Relentlessness is what makes you show up even when your body is screaming. Relentlessness is what makes you study, train, practice, fail, fall, and rise again. Relentlessness is what makes you keep going when everyone else is giving up. Now, I want to speak to the person listening to me right now who is talented. You know you're talented. People have told you that your whole life. People have told you you're gifted, you're smart, you're good at that. But let me ask you a question. Are you relentless? Because talent without relentlessness is wasted. Talent without relentlessness is a one-way ticket to regret. Talent without relentlessness is sitting in your room, wondering why you never made it when everyone else is living the life you dreamed of. The world doesn't reward potential. The world doesn't reward talent. The world rewards action. The world rewards hustle. The world rewards persistence. I'm talking about a mindset where you refuse to quit, where giving up is not an option, where failure is a step forward, not a reason to stop. I'm talking about waking up every day and telling yourself, I don't care about the doors they got handed. I'm going to be relentless and I'm going to win. That's the mindset that beats talent every single time. Think about it like this. Talent is like a spark. A spark can start a fire, sure, but without fuel, without oxygen, without wind, that spark dies. A relentless mindset is like the wind and the fuel. It takes that spark of talent and keeps it alive, keeps it burning, and turns it into a raging fire that cannot be stopped. You see, the person with the spark but no wind, they fizzle out. The person with the spark and wind, they burn brighter, higher, longer than anyone else. That's what relentless effort does. It amplifies talent. It multiplies potential dreams into reality. Let me tell you something else. There's a difference between being naturally good at something and being great at something. Greatness is never accidental. Greatness is never handed out. Greatness is never just the result of natural ability. Greatness is the product of relentless effort, discipline, sacrifice, and an unshakable mindset. And I want you to internalize this. No matter how much talent you have, if you are not relentless, you will never reach your full potential. You may have glimpses of success. You may have moments where people say, oh, wow, you're talented. But the truth is, they will forget you if you don't go all in, if you don't push every limit, if you don't refuse to quit. And here's the thing about a relentless mindset. It doesn't just beat talent, it beats obstacle. Talent alone can't overcome failure. Talent alone can't overcome adversity. Talent alone can't overcome rejection. Talent alone can't overcome fear, doubt, or uncertainty, but a relentless mindset. That mindset says, I will not stop. I will not quit. I will keep going no matter what comes at me. I will win even if it takes everything I have. That is power. That is unstoppable. That is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. That is what separates the people who dream from the people who achieve. And let me get real with you. There are going to be times when talent will let you down, talent will let you down. There are going to be times when natural ability is not enough. There are going to be times when the world is moving faster than you thought, when opportunities seem too far away, when the grind feels too heavy. That is when your mindset matters more than anything else. That is when your relentlessness matters more than anything else. That's when you have to dig deeper, push harder, sacrifice more, and stay committed when everyone else has quit. That is the moment where talent is powerless without relentlessness. I want you to repeat this to yourself every day. Talent may open doors, but my relentless effort will carry me through them. Talent may give me a spark, but my relentlessness will make me shine. Talent may get me noticed, but my relentless grind will make me unforgettable. Say it, believe it, and live it. Let that be the mantra that fuels you every day, every hour, every minute. Because if you embrace a relentless mindset, you will outwork, outlast, and outperform anyone who relies on talent alone. Now, I know some of you listening to me might feel discouraged. You might feel like others have advantages you don't have. Maybe they're smarter, faster, more naturally gifted. Maybe they've had opportunities that you haven't had. I want you to know something. None of that matters if you are relentless. None of it matters if you refuse to quit. None of it matters if you put in the work that no one else is willing to put in. Relentless effort is the great equalizer. Talent may give someone a head start, but relentlessness will make you cross the finish line first. Talent may make someone look good for a moment, but relentlessness will make you legendary. And here's the beauty of it. You don't have to be the most talented person in the room. You don't have to be the most gifted. You don't have to be the most gifted. You don't have to be the smartest. All you have to be is relentless. All you have to do is show up when others are sleeping. All you have to do is keep going when others quit. All you have to do is refuse to let fear, doubt, or failure stop you. That is how you win. That is how you achieve. That is how you transform talent into greatness. So I want you to take this message and embed it in your heart. Talent is nice. Talent is a start. Talent is not enough. Talent without relentlessness is wasted potential. Talent without relentlessness is a dream that dies. Talent without relentlessness is a life of what ifs and regrets, but a relentless mindset. Oh, a relentless mindset changes everything. It turns setbacks into comebacks. It turns failures into lessons. It turns obstacles into stepping stones. It turns ordinary people into legends. And when you decide to be relentless, watch what happens. Opportunities start to appear. People start to notice. Doors you didn't even know existed start to open. But here's the catch. You don't chase the doors because you are lucky. You chase them because you are relentless. You create your own luck through effort. You make your own opportunities through action. You carve your own path through persistence. And eventually the talent you have, it catches up with your effort, and together they make you unstoppable. So let this be your call to action. Don't rely on talent alone. Don't sit back and wait for success to find you. Don't hope that your gifts are enough. Instead, commit to being relentless. Commit to showing up every day. Commit to grinding. Pushing, sacrificing, learning, failing, and rising again. Commit to being relentless until you win life. Because when you do, I promise you, no talent, no obstacle, no excuse, nothing in the world can stop you. Your relentless mindset will carry you further than talent ever could. Remember this, talent may be the spark, but relentlessness is the flame. Talent may get you noticed, but relentlessness makes you remember. Talent may give you potential, but relentlessness delivers results. And when you finally cross the finish line, when you finally achieve what you've been dreaming of, when you finally live the life you were meant to live, you will look back and realize it wasn't your talent that got you there. It was your relentless mindset, your refusal to quit, your determination to keep going no matter what. That, my friend, is how you win. That, my friend, is how you turn dream into reality. That, my friend, is how you become unstoppable. Listen to me closely, because this is the truth that most people are too afraid to admit. Comfort is the enemy of success. Yes, I said it. Comfort is the enemy of everything you've ever wanted. Comfort will kill your dreams. Comfort will destroy your ambition. Comfort will convince you that mediocrity is enough, that good is good enough, that I'm okay is okay. But I'm here to tell you, if you want to win in life, if you want to live the life you dream about, comfort is your worst enemy. You see, comfort feels good. Comfort feels good. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels easy. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. The world does not reward comfort. The world does not reward easy. The world does not reward playing small while everyone else is pushing, sweating, grinding, and bleeding for their dreams. Does not come to those who stay comfortable. Success comes to those who are willing to be uncomfortable, to step outside the zone where life is predictable, where life is predictable, where life is safe, and to go into the arena where you might fail, where you might be rejected, where you might feel pain. That is where success lives. Let me break it down for you. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you are choosing the easy path. You are choosing the temporary pleasure of staying where you are over the long-term gain of going where you want to be. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how talented you are. If you keep choosing comfort, you will never be great. You will never reach your potential. You will never accomplish the dreams that you say you want so bad. Comfort is the silent killer of ambition. Comfort is the invisible hand that keeps you from your purpose. Comfort whispers to you, relax, it's okay to wait. Comfort tells you, don't push too hard. Comfort convinces you that effort, struggle, sacrifice, those things are optional. And while comfort is whispering, the world is moving. Opportunities are passing you by. Dreams are slipping through your fingers. Time is not waiting, and neither is success. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. Look at the people who have achieved greatness. Look at the people who inspire you. You think they got there by staying comfortable? Do you think they got there by doing the easy thing, the predictable thing, the safe thing? No, they got there by being uncomfortable. They got there by pushing past fatigue, by sacrificing sleep, by working when everyone else was resting, by doing things that scared them, by stepping into situations where they could have failed, but chose to try anyway. That is how you become successful. That is how you separate yourself from everyone else. That is how you win life. Comfort will keep you small. Comfort will keep you stagnant. Comfort will make you settle for less than you deserve. And I don't want that for you. I want you to go after everything you've ever dreamed of. I want you to push, to grind, to fight, to bleed for your success. And that means leaving comfort behind. That means making decisions that feel difficult. That means doing the work when no one is watching. That means sacrificing today for the victory of tomorrow. That is what separates the people who dream from the people who do. Now, let me get real with you. Comfort is everywhere. See your bed that feels so good in the morning. It's in the Netflix shows that keep you glued to the screen for hours. It's in the phone that distracts you from your goals. It's in the excuses you tell yourself. I'll start tomorrow. I'll work later. I'll push next week. That is comfort talking. And if you listen to comfort, if you bow to comfort, if you give in to comfort, you are choosing to stay average. You are choosing to stay behind. You are choosing a life that is okay when it could have been extraordinary. Let me tell you something about growth. Growth does not happen in comfort. Growth does not happen in safety. Growth does not happen when everything feels easy. Growth happens when you are uncomfortable. Growth happens when you are tested. Growth happens when you are forced to stretch, to strain, to step into the unknown. That's when you discover what you are really made of. That is when you uncover the strength, the courage, the resilience, the grit that's been inside you all along. But you will never discover it if you stay in your comfort zone. You will never discover it if you take the easy path. You will never discover it if you choose to settle. Think about the challenges that lie ahead in your life. They are not going to be easy. Success is not going to hand itself to you. The life you dream of, the life where you have freedom, where you have influence, where you have impact, does not come from comfort. It comes from effort. It comes from pushing through pain. It comes from showing up even when you are tired. It comes from doing what others are unwilling to do. It comes from being uncomfortable. I want you to imagine for a second what it would be like if you truly embraced discomfort. What would happen if you stopped letting comfort dictate your action? What would happen if you stopped saying, I'll do it later, or I'm too tired, or it's too hard? You would start to win. You would start to see results. You would start to feel the power of relentless effort. You will begin to move faster than the people who are still comfortable. You will start to live a life that others only dream about. Because here's the truth. Discomfort is the gateway to success. Discomfort is the crucible where champions are made. Discomfort is the fire that forges greatness. Now, I know some of you listening are comfortable. I know some of you like it. I know some of you are used to it. And I know some of you are afraid to leave it behind. But I want to tell you something. Fear is part of the process. Resistance is part of the process. Sacrifice is part of the process. If you want to be successful, you have to embrace the struggle. You have to be willing to push through the pain. You have to be willing to do what most people won't do. That is the price of greatness. That is the price of living a life you can be proud of. Let me give you an example. Think about someone like Dwayne of The Rock Johnson. The man didn't become a global superstar by staying comfortable. He woke up at 4 a.m. He trained when his body was sore. He pushed himself to limits most people wouldn't even imagine. He embraced the grind. He embraced the struggle. He embraced the discomfort that comes with being exceptional. And that relentless pursuit is what made him one of the most successful, respected, and recognized men in the world. Talent alone wouldn't have done it. Comfort would have destroyed him if he had given in. But because he embraced discomfort, he became unstoppable. And the same can happen for you. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is your willingness to leave comfort behind. The only thing standing between you and greatness is your willingness to be uncomfortable. The only thing standing between you and success is your willingness to grind, to sacrifice, to push, to fight, to endure, to keep moving when everyone else is resting. You see, comfort is your enemy. Comfort will trick you. Comfort will lull you to sleep. Comfort will keep you small. But if you fight comfort, if you resist it, if you refuse to let it control your life, then you are free to grow, free to achieve, free to become the person you were meant to be. Let me tell you this, success is not a safe journey. Success is not a predictable journey. Success is not an easy journey. It is hard. It is brutal. It is challenging. It is uncomfortable. And if you want it, you must embrace that. You must embrace the discomfort. You must lean into the struggle. You must be willing to do things today that others are not willing to do so that you can live a life tomorrow that others are only dreaming about. Comfort is the reason people quit. Comfort is the reason people give up. Comfort is the reason people settle for mediocrity. Comfort is the reason dreams die. But if you are willing to step out of your comfort zone, if you are willing to push past fear, past doubt, past excuses, past laziness, then you can achieve anything. If you are willing to do what most people won't do, if you are willing to grind when everyone else is resting, if you are willing to sacrifice today for tomorrow, then you are unstoppable. That is the power of embracing discomfort. That's the power of rejecting comfort, That is the power of understanding that comfort is the enemy of success. And I want you to internalize this today. Comfort is not your friend. Comfort is your enemy. If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to be exceptional, if you want to win in life, you must push past comfort. You must challenge yourself. You must step into situations that scare you. You must put yourself in environments that push you to your limits. You must embrace the struggle. You must embrace the challenge. You must embrace discomfort because that is where success is waiting. That is where growth is happening. That is where greatness is born. So I want you to make a decision right now. Decide that from this moment forward, comfort will not dictate your actions. Decide that from this moment forward, you will embrace the struggle. Decide that from this moment forward, you will do what most people are unwilling to do. Decide that from this moment forward, you will reject mediocrity. Decide that from this moment forward, you will fight for your success every single day, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Because the life you want is on the other side of discomfort. The dreams you want are on the other side of sacrifice. The greatness you want is on the other side of struggle. And remember this, comfort might feel good in the moment, but in the long run, it will destroy you. Comfort might feel safe in the moment, but in the long run, it will hold you back. Comfort might feel easy in the moment, but in the long run, it will rob you of your dreams. Reject it. Fight it. Overcome it. Embrace discomfort. Grind when it hurts. Push when you're tired. Work when it's inconvenient. Sacrifice when it's hard. That is the path to greatness. That is the path to success. That is the path to living the life you were meant to live. And if you do that, if you truly embrace discomfort, if you truly reject comfort, you will discover something amazing. You will discover a strength inside you that you never knew existed. You will discover resilience you never imagined. You will discover courage that surprises even you. You will discover the power of relentless effort. You will discover what it truly means to be unstoppable. And when you achieve your dreams, when you reach the life you've been striving for, you will look back and realize that the enemy you feared most, comfort, was actually the greatest teacher of all. because it forced you to grow, it forced you to fight, it forced you to become more than you ever thought you could be. So I want you to leave here today with this in your heart. Comfort is the enemy of success. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Reject it. Push past it. Embrace discomfort. Grind when it hurts. Sacrifice when it's hard. Fight when it's inconvenient. And you will win. You will achieve. You will grow. You will become unstoppable. Because on the other side of discomfort is everything you've ever dreamed of. Everything you've ever wanted. Everything you were born to be. Listen to me carefully, because this is something that so many people get wrong. People think that success is about bursts of effort, big moves, showing up for a moment and then resting for a month. People think that intensity, one huge effort, one big push, one amazing day of work will be enough to get them to where they want to go. But I'm here to tell you the truth. Consistency beats intensity every single time. You can have the most intense moments of effort. You can work harder than anyone else for a single day, a single week, a single month. But if you are not consistent, if you do not show up day after day, week after week, month after month, that intensity means nothing. It is wasted energy. It is temporary. It is fleeting. Consistency is what transforms effort into results. Consistency is what turns dreams into reality. Consistency is what separates the winners from the wannabes. Let me break it down for you. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how motivated you are today. I don't care how much fire is in your heart right now. Motivation is temporary. Passion comes and goes. Intensity is powerful for a moment, but it fades. Consistency does not fade. Consistency shows up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Consistency is the quiet force that builds momentum, the steady hand that carves the path to success, the repeated action that compounds into results you cannot imagine. That's why I say consistency over intensity. 1,000 small, consistent actions beat one enormous, intense action every time. Think about it. Look at anyone who is successful in life. Look at the athletes, the entrepreneurs, the artists, the leaders, the people whose names are recognized around the world. Do you think they got there because they were intense for a month and then stopped up? No. They got there because they were consistent. They showed up day after day, even when it hurt. They practiced when no one was watching. They studied when no one was cheering. They trained when their bodies were tired. They sacrificed when their minds wanted comfort. That is consistency. That is the thing that most people ignore, the thing that most people underestimate, the thing that most people refuse to do because it feels boring. It feels slow. It feels too simple. But that is exactly why it works. That is exactly why it is so powerful. Let me give you an example. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. People talk about his talent, his skill, his athleticism, but I want you to understand something. What separated him from the competition was not just talent, it was consistency. Jordan was in the gym every single day, every day. Shooting shots, running drills, perfecting his game. He did not rely on one intense workout to make him great. He relied on consistent effort over years and years. That is what made him unstoppable. That is what made him legendary. Consistency turned his talent into greatness. Consistency turned his potential into results. And it's not just sports. Think about business. Think about entrepreneurship. The people who are wealthy, the people who build empires, the people who change industries did not do it with one massive burst of effort. They did it by showing up consistently, day after day, making small improvements, learning from mistakes, adapting, evolving, putting in the work even when no one was watching. That is the power of consistency. That's why it beats intensity every time. Because intensity is temporary. Consistency is permanent. Now, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to work 24 hours a day. You don't have to give everything at once. That's intensity. That's burnout waiting to happen. But if you can show up, even when you are tired, even when you don't feel motivated, even when it's inconvenient, that is consistency. If you can take small daily actions toward your goals, even when it doesn't feel like much, even when it feels slow, even when the results are immediate, that is consistency. And over time, those small actions will compound. Those small actions will add up. Those small actions will create results that feel impossible at first, but inevitable in the end. Let me explain it to you another way. Imagine you are planting a tree. You can throw a ton of fertilizer on it one day and water it like crazy for a week. But if you don't care for it consistently, if you don't water it regularly, if you don't give it sunlight every day, that tree will die. That tree will die. But if you water it a little every day, if you give it sunlight a little every day, if you care for it consistently, that tree will grow. That tree will thrive. That tree will bear fruit. That is the principle of consistency. Success is like that tree. Small, consistent actions every day will yield results that one massive burst of effort never could. I want you to look at your own life. Where are you inconsistent? Where do you show up for a week and then stop? Where do you work hard for a day and then take a week off? Where do you get fired up for a month and then quit? That is why you are not seeing the results you want. That is why your dreams are not coming true. That's why your goals feel far away. Consistency is the missing ingredient. Consistency is the secret weapon that most people ignore. Consistency is what turns ordinary people into legends. Consistency is what turns potential into reality. And I know some of you might be thinking, "Oh, but I've tried. I've been consistent before and it didn't work." Let me tell you something. Consistency doesn't fail if it's paired with direction. Consistency without focus is just repetition. But consistency with purpose, consistency with direction, consistency with intention, now that is unstoppable. That is how you become a force to be reckoned with. That's how you take the small steps every day and turn them into massive results over time. That is how you outlast, outperform, and outshine the competition. Now let me give you a real life example of someone outside of sports. Think about Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time. Do you think he got rich with one brilliant investment and then stopped? No, he invested consistently over decades. He studied the markets consistently. He learned consistently. He made calculated moves consistently. That is how his wealth grew. That is how his influence expanded. That is how consistency built something far greater than any one moment of intensity ever could. Consistency turns small, disciplined actions into monumental success. And the same is true for your life. You may not have to invest in the stock market. You may not have to play in the NBA, but you have goals, dreams, ambitions, things you want to achieve. And the principle is the same. Intensity will only get you so far. Intensity might give you a momentary boost. Intensity might give you a short-term win. But it is consistency, the small daily actions, the repeated effort, the habit of showing up even when it is uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient, even when it feels slow. That is what produces results. That is what produces greatness. That is what produces a life you are proud of. Let me make it clear. Consistency is not glamorous. It's not flashy. It's not exciting. It's often boring. You won't post about it on social media. No one will notice when you grind quietly every day. But here's the thing. The people who notice are not your competition. They are your results. The results will notice you. The life you want will notice you. Your dreams will notice you. And when everyone else is burning out after 1 month of intensity, you will be the one still moving forward. You will be the one still growing. You will be the one winning. That is the power of consistency over intensity. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, what areas of your life are you inconsistent in? Where do you give maximum effort for a moment and then quit? Where do you rely on motivation instead of showing up? Where do you chase intensity instead of embracing steady progress? That is where your growth is being blocked. That is where your dreams are being delayed. That is where you are losing to those who understand the power of consistency. And I want you to commit today to change that. I want you to commit to showing up every day. I want you to commit to putting in the work even when you don't feel like it. I want you to commit to small, consistent actions that will add up over time and create results that you never imagined. Consistency over intensity also teaches you patience. It teaches you perseverance. It teaches you resilience because you are not chasing the high of one intense day. You are building a life, a legacy, a future. You are stacking small victories on top of each other. You are creating momentum that will carry you past obstacles, past distractions, past challenges, past setbacks. That is the power of consistency. That is the secret of champions. That is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who talk about them. And let me be real with you. Consistency requires sacrifice. Consistency requires discipline. Consistency requires showing up when you don't feel like it. Consistency requires resisting temptation. Consistency requires putting in the work even when it's inconvenient. But let me tell you something. The reward is massive. The reward is massive. The reward is life-changing. The reward is the kind of results that people only dream about. That is why I say consistency over intensity every time. One consistent person who refuses to quit will always outperform one intense person who burns out. Always, without exception. So I want you to leave here today and make a decision. Intensity may be temporary, but consistency is forever. Intensity may feel good for a day, a week, a month, but it will fade. Consistency will last for a lifetime. Consistency will build results that are unstoppable. Consistency will create momentum that cannot be stopped. Consistency will take your dreams and make them reality. And when you look back years from now, you will be proud, not of the one day you worked hard, but of the years you showed up, the years you didn't quit, the years you were consistent even when it was hard. That is what matters. That is what wins. That's what life rewards. I want you to repeat this in your head, in your heart, every single day. Consistency over intensity. Consistency over intensity. Consistency over intensity. Remember that when motivation fades. Remember that when you feel tired. Remember that when others quit. Remember that when the results seem slow. Remember that consistency is the engine of achievement. Consistency is the secret. Consistency is the unstoppable force that will take you from where you are to where you want to be. And when you finally achieve what you've been working for, when you finally live the life you dreamed of, when you finally accomplish what others said was impossible, you will know that it wasn't one big day of intensity that got you there. It was showing up consistently every single day, doing the work when no one else would, pushing when no one else did, refusing to quit when others gave up. That is consistency. That is the power. That is how you win in life. So remember this, show up every day. Do the small things consistently. Be relentless in your effort. Never quit. Never stop. Never settle. One day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year of consistent action will take you further than a lifetime of bursts of intensity ever could. Make consistency your mantra. Make consistency your lifestyle. Make consistency your weapon. And watch your life change in ways you never imagined. Listen to me carefully, because this is something that will separate the winners from the quitters. You are going to fail. You are going to stumble. You are going to make mistakes. Life will knock you down. And if you are not prepared for that, if you are not ready to face failure, you will never reach your potential. But here's the truth. Failure is not the enemy. Quitting is the enemy. Giving up is the enemy. Failure is simply feedback. Failure is a lesson. Failure is the stepping stone to greatness. You see, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is not that they never fail. The difference is that they fail forward. They fail fast. They learn from it. They adapt. And that is what allows them to keep moving toward their dreams, no matter how many times life tries to stop them. Think about this. Some of the most successful people in the world did not get there by never failing. They got there by failing. They got there by trying, by risking, by stepping out of their comfort zone, by putting themselves on the line, and yes, by falling flat on their faces. But they didn't let the fall define them. They didn't let the failure stop them. They didn't let the setback become the end of their story. Instead, they looked at it, they analyzed, they learned from it, and they used it to get better. That is what failing forward means. That is what learning fast means. That's how you turn your mistakes into momentum. I want you to really hear this. Every failure contains the seeds of your next success. Every mistake contains the lesson you need to grow. Every setback contains the insight that will push you forward, but only if you are willing to learn from it. Only if you are willing to take ownership of it. Only if you are willing to say, I am not going to let this stop me. I'm going to fail, I'm going to learn, and I'm going to move forward faster and stronger than ever. That is the mindset of champions. That is the mindset of unstoppable people. That is the mindset of winner. Let me give you an example. Think about Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb. Do you think he succeeded on the first try? Do you think he got it right immediately? No, he failed thousands of times. And what did he say? He didn't say, I give up. He didn't say, I'm not cut out for this. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That is failing forward. That is learning fast. That is refusing to let failure define you. That is the mindset you need to adopt if you want to win in life. And it's not just about the big failures. It's about the small failures too. Every time you make a mistake, every time you stumble, every time you fall short, you have a choice. You can let it discourage you, or you can let it teach you. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can let it stop you, or you can let it propel you. Successful people choose the latter. They fail forward, they learn fast. They take every setback and turn it into fuel. Every rejection becomes a lesson. Every no becomes a stepping stone. Every mistake becomes a guide for how to do better next time. That is how you grow. That is how you improve. That is how you win. Now, I know some of you listening are afraid to fail. I know some of you are terrified of making mistakes. I know some of you avoid taking risks because you don't want to look foolish or fall flat on your face. But I want you to understand this. Failure is inevitable. It will happen. You cannot escape it. The only question is how you respond. Will you let it stop you? Will you let it define you? Will you quit and go back to comfort, or will you fail forward? Will you learn fast? Will you use it as a tool to become stronger, smarter, better, and more unstoppable than ever before? The choice is yours. Let me break it down even further. Failing forward is not just about trying again. It's about trying smarter. It's about analyzing your mistakes, identifying what went wrong, figuring out what you control, and adjusting your approach. It's about using failure as a roadmap for success. It's about saying, okay, that didn't work. Now, what can I do differently? What can I improve? How can I get closer to my goal? That is the power of failing forward. That is the power of learning fast. That's how you turn mistakes into milestones and setbacks into springboards. And you know what else? Failing forward teaches resilience. Failing forward teaches perseverance. Failing forward teaches courage. Because every time you fall and get back up, every time you make a mistake, keep going. Every time you are rejected and refuse to quit, you are building strength that cannot be shaken. You are building character that cannot be broken. You are building a mindset that cannot be defeated. That is what separates the people who achieve greatness from the people who only dream about it. That is what separates the winners from the quitters. That is what separates those who live extraordinary lives from those who live ordinary ones. Let me tell you something else. Failure is not a reflection of your worth. Failure is not a judgment on your ability. Failure is a necessary part of the process. Failure is proof that you are trying. Failure is evidence that you are pushing beyond your limits. Failure is a signal that you are growing, that you are learning, that you are moving forward. Do not be afraid of it. Embrace it. Study it. Use it. Fail forward, learn fast, and watch how quickly you start to rise above everyone who is too scared to try. Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey. She was fired from her first television job. She was told she was unfit for television. She could have quit. She could have said, I'm not cut out for this. But she did. She fell forward. She learned fast. She adapted. She worked harder. She refined her skills. She turned every setback into a stepping stone, and eventually she became one of the most influential and successful people in the world. That is the power of failing forward. That is the power of learning fast. That is how you take rejection, disappointment, and mistakes and turn them into success and turn them into success. Now, I want you to ask yourself, how are you handling failure in your life? Are you running from it? Are you hiding from it? Are you letting it define you? Or are you facing it head on? Are you using it as a teacher, as a guide, as a tool to get better? Are you failing forward? Are you learning fast? Because let me tell you, the people who win are not the people who never fail. They are the people who fail and keep going. They are the people who take every mistake, every setback, every rejection and turn it into momentum. They are the people who fail forward, learn fast, and refuse to quit. That is how you become unstoppable. I want you to understand this deeply. Success is not a straight line. It's messy. It's full of twists and turns. It's full of failures, setbacks, mistakes, disappointments, and challenges. And if you want to navigate that path successfully, you must learn to fail forward. You must learn to extract a lesson from every mistake. You must learn to turn every obstacle into an opportunity. You must learn to move faster, smarter, and stronger after every setback. That is how you win in life. That is how you achieve greatness. That's how you fulfill your potential. And here's the beauty of it. The faster you learn, the quicker you succeed. That's why I say learn fast. Don't dwell on your mistakes. Don't wallow in regret. Don't spend months or years trying to figure out what went wrong. Learn quickly. Adapt quickly. Apply what you've learned immediately. Take the lesson, adjust your strategy, and move forward with more knowledge, more skill, more wisdom, and more determination than ever before. That is the mindset of a winner. That is the mindset of someone who is relentless. That is the mindset that refuses to quit until they achieve their dreams. And remember this, failing forward and learning fast doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It doesn't mean you won't feel disappointment. It doesn't mean you won't feel frustration. You will. But here's the key. You don't let those feelings stop you. You don't let them control you. You use them. You convert them into fuel. You convert them into motivation. You convert them into lessons that make you stronger, sharper, and more prepared for the next challenge. That is what it means to fail forward and learn fast. That is what it means to keep moving toward your goals, no matter what. That is what it means to win in life. Let me give you another example. This time in sports. Michael Jordan, again, the greatest basketball player of all time. Cut from his high school team, missed shots in the NBA Finals, faced criticism, faced doubt, faced setbacks. Did he quit? No, he failed forward. He learned fast. Every missed shot was a lesson. Every lost game was an opportunity to improve. Every setback was a step closer to greatness. And because he refused to quit, because he used failure as a teacher, he became a legend. That is what failing forward looks like. That is what learning fast looks like. That is what winning looks like. And this applies to your life right now. You may have failed in school. You may have failed in business. You may have failed in relationships. You may have failed in health or fitness. You may have failed at something that feels monumental to you. None of that matters if you choose to take the lesson, adjust, and keep moving toward your goal. The world doesn't care about your failures. The world cares about your results. And your results are determined by how quickly you get up, how fast you learn, and how relentlessly you move forward after every fall. So here's what I want you to do today. Embrace failure. Stop fearing it. Stop running from it. Stop letting it paralyze you. Use it. Fail forward. Learn fast. Study every mistake. Analyze every setback. Adjust your strategy. Move faster. Push harder. Refuse to settle. Refuse to let failure define you. Because the people who succeed are not those who never fail. They are those who fail, learn, and rise faster than anyone else. That is the secret. That is the formula. That is how you win in life. And I want you to remember this. Every failure is temporary. Every lesson is permanent. Every setback is a stepping stone. Every mistake is an opportunity. Fail forward. Learn fast. Keep going. Keep grinding. Keep pushing. Keep growing. And one day when you achieve the life you've been dreaming of, when you reach the success you've been working for, when you surpass everyone who doubted you, you will look back and realize that your failures were not obstacles. They were your teachers. They were your guide. They were your fuel. And you will be grateful for every single one of them. That is the power of failing forward and learning fast. That is how champions are made. That is how dreams become reality. That is how you win in life. Listen to me closely, because this is something most people are too afraid to do. They want the rewards. They want the success. They want the glory, but they are not willing to pay the price. They want the celebration, but they are not willing to embrace the sacrifice. And I'm here to tell you that you cannot have it both ways. You cannot have the life you dream of, the success you want, the freedom you crave, without sacrifice. You have to give up something today in order to gain something greater tomorrow. That is the law of life. That is the law of success. That is the law of winning. You see, the people who achieve greatness are not the people who chase comfort. They are the people who are willing to sacrifice, to endure, to work harder, to push longer, to give more than anyone else. They are the people who understand that what they give today determines what they receive tomorrow. Sacrifice is not easy. Let me tell you that right now. It's not easy to wake up early when everyone else is sleeping. It's not easy to stay late when everyone else is resting. It's not easy to say no to distractions when the world is telling you to relax. to take it easy, to enjoy the moment. But that is exactly why sacrifice is so powerful. Because it is hard, because it is uncomfortable, because it requires discipline, endurance, and determination. And it is in that discomfort that your character is forged, your strength is built, and your future is created. Every time you choose sacrifice over ease, you are investing in yourself. Every time you choose discipline over pleasure, you are building the foundation for your success. Every time you give today, you are setting yourself up to celebrate tomorrow. Let me break it down for you. You cannot expect to achieve extraordinary results while living an ordinary lifestyle. You cannot expect to reach the top without putting in the work that everyone else is unwilling to do. You cannot expect to win if you are unwilling to pay the price. Success demands sacrifice. Greatness demands sacrifice. Winning demands sacrifice. That is the reality. That is the truth. And if you are serious about your dreams, if you are serious about your goals, if you are serious about your future, you must be willing to give up comfort, give up temporary pleasure in order to gain something far greater. Think about the people you admire most. Think about the legends, the champions, the titans in sports, business, art, and leadership. Do you think they got there by taking it easy? Do you think they got there by doing what's comfortable? No, they got there by sacrificing. Michael Jordan sacrificed his social life, his sleep, his free time to become the greatest basketball player of all time. Oprah Winfrey sacrificed comfort, security, and convenience to build an empire from nothing. Elon Musk sacrificed his sleep, personal comfort, and time with family to push humanity forward. Every person who achieves greatness understands this principle. Sacrifice today, celebrate tomorrow. Now let me get real with you. Sacrifice does not feel good in the moment. It does not feel glamorous. It does not feel glamorous. It does not feel easy. It is hard. It is painful. It requires discipline. It requires endurance. It requires grit. But here is the thing. That temporary pain, that temporary discomfort is nothing compared to the joy, the freedom, the success, the pride, the fulfillment you will feel when your sacrifices pay off. When you put in the work today, when you endure the struggle, when you choose discipline over laziness, when you say no to distractions and yes to your goals, you are planting seeds. And those seeds will grow into results, into success, into the life you have always dreamed of. Sacrifice is the investment. Celebration is the return. Let me give you an example. Imagine an athlete training for the Olympics. Every early morning run, every late night practice, every moment of fatigue, every injury endured, every social event skipped, every temptation resisted, those are sacrifices. But all of that sacrifice builds the body, the mind, the skill, and the discipline needed to win a gold medal. And when that athlete steps on the podium, when the national anthem plays, when the flag is raised, when the crowd cheers, that is the celebration. That is the reward. And it would never be possible without the sacrifices made along the way. That is how life works. Sacrifice today, celebrate tomorrow. And this applies to every area of your life, not just sports. In business, in education, in health, in relationships, in personal growth, sacrifice is the currency of success. If you want to get fit, you must sacrifice junk food, laziness, and excuses. If you want to grow your career, you must sacrifice comfort, procrastination, and distractions. If you want to build a business, you must sacrifice free time, sleep, and instant gratification. If you want to learn a skill, you must sacrifice comfort and consistency. The people who are unwilling to sacrifice will always be average. The people who are unwilling to sacrifice will always settle. The people who are unwilling to sacrifice will always watch others win. But the people who embrace sacrifice today will celebrate tomorrow. Let me make something very clear. Sacrifice is not permanent. The discomfort is temporary. The early mornings, the late nights, the hard work, the discipline. These are temporary experiences. But the results, the growth, the success, the freedom, the pride, they last forever. That is why I say sacrifice today, celebrate tomorrow. The temporary pain you feel today is nothing compared to the joy and fulfillment you will experience when your dreams come true. The temporary struggle you endure today is nothing compared to the life you will live when your sacrifices pay off. The temporary discipline you embrace today is nothing compared to the freedom you will gain tomorrow. Now, I know some of you listening are afraid to sacrifice. You are afraid of giving up comfort. You are afraid of giving up ease. You are afraid of missing out on what feels good now, on what feels good now. But let me tell you something. Fear is the enemy of your future. Fear will keep you from the life you deserve. Fear will keep you from the success you dream about. Fear will keep you stuck, trapped, and frustrated. You cannot let fear control your actions. You cannot let fear dictate your choices. You cannot let fear keep you from making the sacrifices necessary to achieve greatness. The people who win are the people who embrace discomfort, embrace challenge, embrace discipline, and embrace sacrifice even when it is hard. That is how they get ahead. That is how they win life. That is how they create a legacy. And here's the secret about sacrifice. It compounds. Every sacrifice you make today builds on the last one. Every decision to work harder, every decision to push longer, every decision to give more than others. These decisions stack over time. These sacrifices create momentum. These sacrifices build results. And eventually those results become unstoppable. One sacrifice leads to another. One victory leads to another. One achievement leads to another. That is why consistency and sacrifice is so important. That is why showing up every day, even when it is hard, even when it is inconvenient, even when you don't feel like it is so powerful. That is how ordinary people turn into extraordinary people. That is how dreams become reality. That is how you celebrate tomorrow. Let me give you another example. Look at Elon Musk. The man has sacrificed countless hours sleep and comfort to build Tesla, SpaceX, as vision for the future. He faced setbacks, criticism, and failure. But every sacrifice, every long night, every challenge, every rejection, those sacrifices built the life and the success he has today. That is the principle I'm talking about. Sacrifice today, celebrate tomorrow. And this is not just about work, this is about life. Sacrifice is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Sacrifice is the pathway to success. Sacrifice is the key to living a life that most people can only dream about. Now I want you to ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice today? What are you willing to give up? What comforts are holding you back? What distractions are keeping you from your potential? Because here's the truth. You will never reach your dreams without giving up something. You cannot have everything. You cannot have comfort and success at the same time. You cannot have ease and freedom at the same time. You cannot have laziness and greatness at the same time. Something has to give. And if you are willing to sacrifice today, if you are willing to endure the struggle, if you are willing to push beyond your limits, if you are willing to give more than anyone else, then tomorrow you will celebrate. And let me tell you something else. Sacrifice builds character. Sacrifice builds resilience. Sacrifice builds strength. Every time you say no to something easy, every time you say yes to something hard, every time you endure when others quit, every time you push when others give up, you are becoming stronger. You are becoming tougher. You are becoming unstoppable. That is the hidden benefit of sacrifice. Not just the results it produces, but the person it transforms you into. The more you sacrifice, the stronger you become. The more you sacrifice, the more confident you become. The more you sacrifice, the more capable you become. And that person you are becoming, that is the person who will enjoy the celebration tomorrow even more. Let me give you one more example, this time in sports. Think about Serena Williams. Every early morning practice, every grueling match, every injury endured, every moment she pushed through pain, those are sacrifices. But those sacrifices built her into one of the greatest tennis players of all time. Those sacrifices allowed her to celebrate victory after victory. Those sacrifices allowed her to achieve greatness. That is how life works. Sacrifice today, celebrate tomorrow. And this applies to your life as well. You may not be an athlete. You may not be building a business empire, but the principle is the same. If you want to achieve your dream, if you want to reach your goals, if you want to live the life you've been imagining, you must be willing to sacrifice today. You must be willing to push through discomfort. You must be willing to give more than anyone else. You must be willing to work harder, longer, and smarter than anyone else. And when you do, the celebration will come. It will be worth it. Every ounce of effort, every moment of discipline, every sacrifice, it will be worth it. So I want you to leave here today and make a decision. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up in order to gain the life you deserve? What are you willing to endure today so that tomorrow you can celebrate? Tomorrow you can celebrate. Because make no mistake, success will not come to you without sacrifice. Greatness will not come to you without sacrifice. Freedom will not come to you without sacrifice. Celebration will not come to you without sacrifice. But if you are willing to embrace the struggle, embrace the discipline, embrace the discomfort, embrace the sacrifice, then tomorrow will be extraordinary. Tomorrow will be yours. Tomorrow will be a victory. Tomorrow will be a celebration. Remember this, sacrifice today, celebrate tomorrow. Say it in your head. Say it in your heart. Say it every day. Because this is the principle that will take you from where you are to where you want to be. This is the mindset that will keep you going when it is hard. This is the attitude that will separate you from the people who quit. This is the discipline that will turn your dreams into reality. Sacrifice today, celebrate tomorrow. Embrace it, live, and watch how your life transforms. Listen to me carefully, because this is something that most people never truly understand. People spend all their time talking about circumstances, complaining about situations, blaming the world, blaming other people, blaming the economy, blaming their upbringing, blaming their school, blaming their city, blaming their boss. But I'm here to tell you the truth. None of that matters if your mindset is not right. Mindset over matter. That is the principle that separates winners from losers, champions from quitters, people who achieve their dreams from people who just dream about life. You see, the circumstances will always be there. The obstacles will always exist. The challenges will never end. But your mindset, your way of thinking, your beliefs about yourself, your perspective on life, that is what determines whether you succeed or fail, whether you rise or fall, whether you live a life of greatness or a life of mediocrity. Let me break it down for you. Mindset over matter means that you do not let your situation dictate your results. Mindset over matter means that you refuse to let external circumstances control your internal state. Mindset over matter means that no matter what life throws at you, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how impossible it feels, you are able to rise above it, you are able to push through it, and you are able to achieve despite it. That is the power of mindset. That is the key to unstoppable success. That is the reason why some people succeed when they have every reason to fail. That is why some people achieve greatness while others, with more resources, more talent, more opportunity, never get off the starting line. Think about it. You can be born into poverty. You can face rejection. You can be told you are not good enough. You can be surrounded by negativity. You can fail over and over. But none of that will stop you if your mindset is strong. Your mindset is more powerful than any obstacle. Your mindset is more important than any resource. Your mindset is more valuable than any advantage someone else may have. Mindset over matter. The strongest weapon you have is not your body, not your money, not your connections. It is your mind. Let me give you an example. Think about Oprah Winfrey. She was born into poverty. She faced abuse. She faced rejection. She faced every reason to quit, every reason to fail, every reason to give up. But she had a mindset that refused to accept defeat. She had a mindset that refused to settle for less than she was capable of. She had a mindset that focused on possibilities instead of limitations. That mindset allowed her to rise above her circumstances, create one of the most successful and influential lives in history. That is the power of mindset over matter. And it's not just about thinking positively. Mindset over matter is not just about repeating affirmations or hoping for the best. It's about discipline, focus, and control. It's about training your mind to see opportunities instead of obstacles. It's about conditioning your thoughts to focus on solutions instead of problems. It's about rewiring your brain to persist when others quit, to push when others pause, to innovate when others complain, and to rise when others fall. Mindset over matter is a lifestyle, not a temporary feeling. It is a daily practice, a constant commitment, a relentless pursuit of mental strength that empowers you to overcome anything life throws at you. Let me tell you something else. Your mindset determines your behavior. Your mindset determines your actions. Your mindset determines your results. If you believe you can succeed, you will take actions that align with that belief. If you believe you are capable, you will push past fear, resistance, and doubt. If you believe you can achieve, you will find solutions where others see problems. On the other hand, if your mindset is weak, negative, or limiting, it will sabotage your actions, your decision, and your progress. You will make excuses. You will procrastinate. You will avoid challenges. You will settle for less than you deserve. That's why mindset is everything. Mindset over matter. Your mind determines the life you live. Think about athletes. The greatest athletes in the world do not win because they are always stronger, faster, or more talented than everyone else. They win because they have the right mindset. They have the mental toughness to push through pain. They have the mental focus to perform under pressure. They have the belief in themselves that allows them to rise when others falter. Think about Michael Jordan. Think about Serena Williams. Think about Kobe Bryant. They all face challenges, setbacks, injuries, and criticism. But their mindset allowed them to overcome all of that and perform at the highest level. That is mindset over matter. That is the invisible force that wins championships and creates legends. And this applies to your life as well. You will face challenges. You will face obstacles. You will face people who doubt you, situations that discourage you, and circumstances that seem unfair. But if you cultivate the right mindset, none of that matters. You will find a way. You will persist. You will overcome. You will succeed. Mindset over matter is the mental edge that allows you to perform at a higher level, think strategically, and achieve more than most people ever imagine. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but I don't know if I can change my mindset. I don't know if I'm strong enough. Let me tell you something. Mindset is not fixed. Mindset is not predetermined. Mindset can be trained. Mindset can be strengthened. Mindset can be rewired. You can train your mind just like you train your body. You can develop mental toughness, discipline, resilience, focus, and positivity. You can learn to see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, obstacles as stepping stones. You can develop a mindset that refuses to quit, refuses to settle, and refuses to be defeated. That is the power of mindset over matter. And here's the truth. It will not happen overnight. Changing your mindset takes time, practice, and effort. It takes consistent work every day. It takes patience and perseverance. You must be intentional about the thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you reinforce, and the actions you take. You must guard your mind against negativity, doubt, fear, and excuses. You must feed your mind with knowledge, inspiration, and positivity. You must surround yourself with people who lift you, challenge you, and support your growth. Mindset over matter is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong practice. Let me give you a practical example. If you want to achieve success in business, you may face failure after failure. Deals will fall through. Clients will say no. Investors will reject you. Competitors will outmaneuver you. If you do not have the right mindset, you will quit. You will give up. You will stop trying. But if you have a mindset that refuses to accept defeat, that sees every failure as feedback, that sees every challenge as an opportunity to learn, that sees every rejection as a chance to improve, then none of those obstacles can stop you. Mindset over matter. The stronger your mind, the stronger your results. And it's not just about success, it's about life. Mindset determines your happiness, your relationships, your health, and your fulfillment. If you believe life is against you, you will live in fear, resentment, and frustration. If you believe you are a victim, you will remain powerless. But if you believe life is full of opportunities, that you have the power to shape your destiny, that challenges are growth opportunities, that setbacks are temporary, then you will live in hope, courage, and determination. Mindset over matter. Your mind creates your reality. Let me tell you something else. Mindset is contagious. The people you surround yourself with will either strengthen your mind or weaken it. If you are around people who doubt you, who complain, who make excuses, who are negative, that mindset will influence you. If you are around people who inspire you, challenge you, who believe in possibilities, who push you to be better, that mindset will lift you. That is why it is critical to guard your mind, protect your thoughts, and be intentional about the company you keep. Mindset over matter. Your environment will influence your mind, and your mind will determine your results. And I want you to remember this: adversity is inevitable. Life will throw problems at you. You will face challenges, setbacks, and obstacles. But your mindset will determine whether you survive or thrive. Your mindset will determine whether you collapse or rise. Your mindset will determine whether you quit or conquer. Mindset over matter. You cannot control everything in life, but you can control your mind. You can control how you respond. You can control whether you use adversity as a stepping stone or a stumbling block. That is the power of mindset over matter. That is the secret of champion. That is the key to a life of success and fulfillment. Think about J.K. Rowling, rejected by countless publishers, struggling as a single mother, living in poverty, facing criticism and doubt. But her mindset never wavered. She believed in her story. She believed in her talent, and she believed in herself. She refused to give up. She kept pushing. She kept writing. And today, she is one of the most successful authors in history. That is mindset over matter. That is the power of believing in yourself when the world doubts you. That is the mindset that turns dreams into reality. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what is your mindset today? Is it serving you? Is it helping you reach your goals? Is it empowering you to overcome obstacles, take risks, and achieve more than you ever thought possible? Or is it holding you back? Keeping you small, keeping you stuck, keeping you from the life you deserve? Mindset over matter. You have the power to change your thoughts, your beliefs, and your perspective. You have the power to strengthen your mind, train your brain, and develop mental toughness. You have the power to rise above circumstances, challenges, and limitations. Mindset over matter. That is the key to everything you want in life. And here's the reality. The world is not fair. Life is not easy. People will doubt you. People will criticize you. People will try to stop you. Circumstances will challenge you. Obstacles will block you, but your mindset is within your control. Your mindset is your choice. Your mindset is your responsibility. And if you choose to cultivate a powerful, resilient, positive, determined, unstoppable mindset, then nothing can stop you. Mindset over matter. Your mind will carry you farther than any resources, connections, or opportunities ever could. Your mind will carry you beyond fear, doubt, and limitation. Your mind will carry you to the life you dream of. So remember this, mindset over matter. Say it in your head, your heart, every day. Guard your mind, train your mind, strengthen your mind. Feed your mind with knowledge, positivity, and inspiration. Surround yourself with the right people. Focus on solutions, not problems. Embrace challenge. Learn from failures. So when others quit, push when others quit, push when others pause. Rise above every obstacle. Because your mindset is your greatest weapon, your most valuable resource, your key to success. Mindset over matter. Your mind determines your results. Your mind determines your life. Mindset over matter. Master your mind and you will master everything else. Listen to me carefully, because this is the part that separates the dreamers from the doers. Most people want success, but they are not willing to pay the price. Most people want results, but they are not willing to commit to the grind. Most people want greatness, but they are not willing to embrace discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. Discipline is the path that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. Without discipline, talent is wasted. Without discipline, opportunity is squandered. Without discipline, potential remains just potential, nothing more. Relentless discipline is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary people. Relentless discipline is what separates champions from quitters. Relentless discipline is what makes the impossible possible. Let me tell you the truth. Discipline is not a feeling. Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is not inspiration. Discipline is action. Discipline is doing what you need to do even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is showing up every day, even when it's hard. Even when it's inconvenient, even when it would be easier to quit. Discipline is consistency. Discipline is the willingness to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term gain. Relentless discipline is the commitment to your goals, your vision, your dreams, no matter the obstacles, no matter the pain, no matter the fatigue. And here's the thing most people don't understand. You cannot rely on motivation alone. Motivation is fleeting. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you will feel motivated and some days you will not. But discipline is permanent. Discipline does not depend on how you feel. Discipline depends on what you do. Discipline is a choice. And that choice is what determines whether you succeed or fail. Relentless discipline is showing up even when you feel like quitting. Relentless discipline is pushing forward when no one is watching. Relentless discipline is working harder than everyone else. Every day, without excuses. Think about the people you admire most. The athletes, the entrepreneurs, the artists, the leaders, the champions. Do you think they got there by feeling motivated every day? Do you think they achieved their greatness when they were inspired? No, they achieved their greatness because they were disciplined, they got up early. They stayed late. They practiced when others were resting. They studied when others were distracted. They sacrificed when others were comfortable. That is what relentless discipline looks like. That is what separates those who succeed from those who fail. Let me break it down for you. Discipline is not about occasional effort. Discipline is not about doing something once in a while. Discipline is about habits. Discipline is about routines. Discipline is about showing up every day and doing the work no matter what. Relentless discipline is not flexible. It does not negotiate. It does not wait for the perfect moment. It does not depend on your energy level or your emotion. It is unwavering, unshakable, unstoppable. Relentless discipline is the secret ingredient that transforms dreams into reality, that turns talent into results, that turns potential into performance. Now, I know some of you are thinking, "Oh, but I'm not disciplined. I don't have the willpower. I can't do it." Let me tell you something. Discipline is a skill. Discipline is a muscle. Discipline can be developed. Discipline can be strengthened. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. The more you commit to doing what needs to be done, the easier it becomes to continue doing it. Relentless discipline is built one action at a time, one choice at a time, one day at a time. You do not wake up disciplined. You become disciplined through repeated effort, through repeated action, through repeated commitment to your goals. Let me give you an example from sports. Michael Jordan. He did not become the greatest basketball player in history by being naturally talented alone. He became the greatest because he had relentless discipline. He practiced while everyone else slept. He trained while everyone else rested. He studied the game while everyone else was distracted. He pushed himself beyond pain, beyond fatigue, beyond doubt. That relentless discipline made him unstoppable. That relentless discipline made him legendary. And the same principle applies to your life. You will never reach your full potential without relentless discipline. Discipline is not just about work. Discipline is about life. Discipline is about managing your time, your energy, your priorities, and your actions. Discipline is about saying no to distractions, no to excuses, no to instant gratification, no to anything that does not serve your purpose. Discipline is about making decisions that align with your long-term goals, even when it is uncomfortable. Discipline is about creating systems and habits that keep you moving forward, even when motivation fades, even when obstacles arise, even when the journey gets tough. That is what relentless discipline looks like. That is what the winners do. And here's the truth. Discipline compounds. Every disciplined action builds on the previous one. Every day you show up, every task you complete, every habit you maintain, every decision you make, it adds up. Small, consistent actions driven by discipline lead to massive results over time. That is why the most successful people in the world are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are the most disciplined. They are consistent. They are relentless. They understand that every action, every choice, every habit matters. Relentless discipline creates momentum. Momentum creates results, and results create success. Let me tell you something else. Discipline is uncomfortable. Discipline is not supposed to feel good all the time. Discipline requires sacrifice. Discipline requires focus. Discipline requires self-control. Discipline requires pushing through resistance, pain, fatigue, doubt, and distraction. But that discomfort is temporary. The results of your discipline are permanent. The habits you build, the character you develop, the achievements you earn, the goals you reach, those are lifelong rewards. Relentless discipline is about enduring short-term discomfort for long-term gain. That is how success is built. That is how champions are made. Think about business leaders. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos. They did not reach the top by taking it easy, by waiting for inspiration, or by hoping things would fall into place. They reached the top through relentless discipline. Long hours, intense focus, unwavering commitment, and the willingness to do what others would not do. They made sacrifices, they pushed past fatigue, they endured criticism, and they never quit. Relentless discipline allowed them to achieve what most people only dream of. And you can do the same in your own life if you commit to the same principles. Now, I know some of you are looking for shortcuts. Some of you are looking for an easy way, a quick path, a hack. Let me tell you right now, there are no shortcuts to greatness. There are no hacks for success. There are no secrets that replace relentless discipline. You want to be great? You want to achieve your goals? You want to live a life of success and fulfillment? Then you must commit to discipline. You must show up every day. You must work harder than everyone else. You must sacrifice comfort, convenience, and ease. Relentless discipline is the only path that works. And here's another truth. Discipline is contagious. When you commit to relentless discipline, it influences those around you. It sets a standard. It raises the bar. It inspires others to step up. When you consistently show up, work hard, and maintain your focus, it creates a culture of excellence. It creates an environment where success becomes inevitable. Relentless discipline does not just change your life. It changes the world around you. That is the power of consistency and commitment. That is the power of discipline. Discipline also builds confidence. The more disciplined you are, the more control you have over your life. The more control you have, the more empowered you feel. The more empowered you feel, the more capable you become. Relentless discipline teaches you that you are capable of doing hard things, of pushing through pain, of overcoming obstacles, of achieving goals that once seemed impossible. That confidence fuels further action, and action leads to results, and results lead to success. That is the cycle of relentless discipline. And this applies to every area of your life. Health, relationships, finances, personal growth, career. Discipline is the foundation for all of it. You want to be fit? Discipline in your training and nutrition. You want strong relationships? Discipline in communication and time investment. You want financial freedom? Discipline in spending, saving, and investing. You want personal growth? Discipline in learning, reading, and self-reflection. Discipline is the common denominator. Discipline is the key. Relentless discipline is the game changer. Let me give you an example from life itself. J.K. Rowling. Before she became famous, she faced rejection after rejection. Publishers said no. Life was difficult, but she maintained discipline. She kept writing every day, even when discouraged, even when struggling financially, even when facing doubt. Her discipline allowed her to complete the Harry Potter series, which eventually became a worldwide phenomenon. Discipline turned her dreams into reality. That is the power of relentless discipline. That's what you must embrace. Now, I want you to ask yourself, are you disciplined? Are you relentless? Are you showing up every day doing the work even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or exhausting? Are you willing to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term success? Because let me tell you, if you are not disciplined, you will not succeed. If you are not relentless, you will not reach your potential. If you are not willing to push harder, go longer, and sacrifice more than anyone else, you will settle for mediocrity. Relentless discipline is the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. And let me leave you with this. Discipline is a choice. Every day, every moment, every action, you choose whether to be disciplined or undisciplined. You choose whether to take the easy path or the hard path. You choose whether to push forward or give up. You choose whether to commit to your goals or let them fade. Relentless discipline is about choosing every single day to do what needs to be done. No matter how you feel, no matter how hard it is, no matter what obstacles appear. That choice determines your future. That choice determines your results. That choice determines your life. So remember this and repeat it every day. Relentless discipline. Show up every day. Do the work. Push past fatigue. Sacrifice comfort. Stay consistent. Build habits. Maintain focus. Embrace the grind. Outwork everyone. Commit to excellence. Refuse to quit. Refuse to settle. Discipline is the bridge. Discipline is the key. Discipline is the game changer. Relentless discipline will take you from where you are to be. Relentless discipline will turn your dreams into reality. Relentless discipline will make you unstoppable. Listen to me carefully because most people give up too soon. Most people quit when things get hard. Most people stop chasing their dreams the moment they face their first obstacle. the first setback, the first failure. But I'm here to tell you that the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is persistence. Persistence refusing to quit. It is about continuing the grind, even when it feels like nothing is happening. The moment most people give up is the moment they were about to succeed. Persistence means pushing past that moment, because success is often just on the other side of the struggle, the other side of the struggle. And let me tell you, persistence is not always glamorous. It is not always exciting. It is not always fun. It is hard. It is tiring. It is uncomfortable. It is frustrating. But the people who achieve greatness are willing to endure that discomfort because they know that every step forward, every extra effort, every moment of perseverance brings them closer to their goal. They understand that the journey is as important as the destination. They understand that persistence shapes their character, builds their resilience, and strengthens their mind. Persistence transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Let me give you another example. Look at Serena Williams. Look at her journey in tennis. Look at her injuries, her defeats, her setbacks, her critics. Look at the times she was counted out, underestimated, and doubted. And yet she persisted. She refused to quit. She continued to train, to fight, to improve. That persistence allowed her to achieve greatness, to win championships, and to leave a legacy that will be remembered forever. That is the power of persistence. That is the principle that you must embrace in your own life. Persistence is also about resilience. Persistence is about bouncing back from failure, learning from mistakes, and continuing to move forward with more wisdom, more focus, and more determination than ever before. Persistence is about refusing to let setbacks defeat you. Persistence is about turning challenges into opportunities, obstacles into stepping stones, and failures into fuel. It is about staying committed when everything around you is falling apart, because you know that your effort, your dedication, and your determination will eventually pay off. Now, some of you are asking, how do I develop persistence? Let me tell you, it starts with purpose. You must have a reason so strong that quitting is not an option. You must have a vision so clear that obstacles cannot distract you. You must have a goal so compelling that you refuse to let anything stop you. When your why is bigger than your fear, when your vision is bigger than your doubts, when your purpose is bigger than your excuses, persistence becomes inevitable. You cannot help but keep going. You cannot help but push through. You cannot help but succeed. Persistence is also about taking responsibility. It's about owning your life, owning your actions, owning your results. It is about refusing to blame circumstances, other people, or the world for your setbacks. It is about understanding that your future is determined by what you do, not by what happens to you. Persistence is about taking action, learning, adapting, and continuing to move forward no matter what. When you take responsibility, you take control. And when you take control, persistence becomes your superpower. And here's the reality. Life will test you. Life will challenge you. Life will try to break you. But persistence is what allows you to withstand the storms, overcome the difficulties, and emerge stronger than ever. Persistence is the difference between success and failure, between giving up and achieving, between regret and triumph. Every person who has ever accomplished something remarkable in this world has relied on persistence. Every person who has ever overcome impossible odds has relied on persistence. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has relied on persistence. Let me give you one more example, this time in business. Consider someone like Elon Musk. He faced countless setbacks, failed launches, financial crises, and critics who told him he would never succeed. But he persisted. You persisted. He continued to work, to innovate, to push the boundaries. He refused to quit. That persistence allowed him to revolutionize multiple industries, from electric cars to space travel. That is the power of persistence. That is what you must embrace in your own life. Now, I want you to ask yourself, are you persistent? Are you willing to keep going when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, when it feels impossible? Are you willing to push past failure, rejection, doubt, and fear? Are you willing to stay committed to your vision, even when the world says no? Because let me tell you this, the people who achieve greatness are not necessarily the most talented. They are not always the smartest. They are not always the luckiest. They are the ones who persist. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They are the ones who keep going when everyone else gives up. Persistence is also about mindset. It's about believing that no matter what happens, you have the power to overcome it. It's about trusting yourself, trusting your abilities, and trusting the process. It's about maintaining focus, clarity, and determination even when things get chaotic. It's about refusing to be swayed by temporary failures or distraction. When you develop a persistent mindset, nothing can stop you. Nothing can derail you. Nothing can defeat you. Persistence is mental strength in action. Persistence is a relentless pursuit of your goals no matter what. And let me tell you this, persistence is contagious. When you persist, you inspire others. When you refuse to quit, you motivate others to push harder. When you stay committed, you create a standard of excellence that elevates everyone around you. Persistence is not just about achieving your own goals. It is about influencing your environment, leading by example, and creating a culture of determination, resilience, and success. Remember this, success is not always immediate. Rewards are not always instant. Progress is not always visible. But persistence ensures that you keep moving forward, even when you cannot see the end. Persistence is the force that bridges the gap between effort and results, between struggle and achievement, between dreams and reality. The moment most people quit is often the moment they were about to succeed. Don't quit. Keep going. Persist. Relentlessly, unstoppably. So today I challenge you. Embrace the power of persistence. Refuse to quit. Keep moving forward. Stay committed. Learn from failure. Adapt when necessary. Push through obstacles. Overcome setbacks. Persist when it's hard. Persist when it's uncomfortable. Persist when it seems impossible. Because every step you take, every action you make, every choice you commit to brings you closer to your dreams. Persistence is the key to success. Persistence is the path to greatness. Persistence is the force that will carry you to the life you deserve. Persistence is more than just effort. Persistence is faith in yourself when others doubt you. Persistence is action in the face of fear. Persistence is courage in the presence of uncertainty. Persistence is vision in the midst of chaos. Persistence is belief when nothing else makes sense. And when you combine persistence with focus, discipline, and relentless effort, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Persistence is the ultimate power. Persistence is the ultimate weapon. Persistence is the ultimate difference maker. So remember this and live by it every single day. Persist. Persist when it's hard. Persist when it's uncomfortable. Persist when it feels impossible. Persist when others give up. Persist when life knocks you down. Persist when everyone doubts you. Persist when the world says no, because persistence is the secret ingredient to every success story. Persistence is the force that transforms dreams into reality. Persistence is the power that will take you from where you are to where you want to be. Persist relentlessly, persist unshakably.